Right, so this is a suggestion via channel member, guys. The name of the video is what do Navy sailors do during their off time? Huh. I would probably suspect a lot of hazing. Because generally, when people are like super serious all the time, like, handling the country's work, these type of things, right? They need to like blow off some steam. And I would suspect it's probably a lot of pranks, right? A lot of pranks and probably some swimming. Yeah. But either way, let's jump into it. This is coming from the channel Navy Media.
As we all know, defending a country is not an easy task. Doing so requires great power, and with great power comes great responsibility.
Well said.
As soon as a naval warship is deployed from its port, its crew members on board must work constantly and ceaselessly to ensure the ship is operational and ready to provide naval support at all times. On warships like destroyers, naval sailors are required to be active for most hours of the day.
Suspect that.
At some point, however, these sailors are relieved of their daily chores and given the chance to take a breather.
Oh, bro, I didn't even think of
football. What do these
football.
sailors do during their invaluable spare time? Let's find out how they let off some steam.
All right.
It's a well-known fact that being a U.S. Navy sailor is not an easy occupation.
Right.
It requires being isolated at sea for long periods and away from their loved ones. As part of their initial training, these sailors are made to understand the hazards that come with being a Navy sailor. While they're at sea, they can be exposed to bad weather, drowning, shipwrecks, and many other dangers aboard the ship. This part of their training helps them prepare and avoid such occupational hazards. Living on a warship is not as comfortable as you probably think.
I don't think that it's comfortable at all. I would not suspect that it would be.
Living quarters aboard a vessel are usually small and leave little to no privacy for crew members. Generally, a sailor works for 4 hours and rests for 8 hours every day. In other cases, a sailor can work for more hours than usual, depending on their department and responsibilities. An average sailor works for more than 40 hours every week at sea.
So normal.
To ensure a sailor doesn't become super exhausted while on duty, the U.S. Navy employs a rotation system whereby sailors can move from one department to another on deployment. This helps sailors to always be battle ready at all times on a warship.
Guys, it's actually super smart.
For most of these sailors, their off time is not really an
Bro, did that say postage stamp sold here? Sold. Hey, stop charging these people. Everything should be free on this ship.
off time. They can use this opportunity to catch up on overdue tasks which they couldn't do during their work hours.
We got to work
Their
on
off
that,
time
guys.
is also a great period to perform basic chores, such as laundry and cleaning their beds. On some days, there could be a military task going on, like an at-sea replenishment or an aircraft coming in or leaving the flight deck. At the end of it all, on such days, when it comes down to how many hours a sailor gets in his free time, what should have been around
Hey, that better be a free store.
8 hours of rest becomes 3 hours at most. Sailors do not abide by the standard 40 hours a week that most government officials are subjected to. For U.S. Navy sailors, their work week is divided into 3 sections. Unlike Sundays being the start of their work week, Thursday, which is usually the day their ship is deployed, is their day.
Guys, actually, seeing this in scale for the first time, that is legitimately ridiculous, guys. Who built that thing? I know we did, maybe, potentially. I hope we did, at least, right? But just understand this here. I've never actually seen one of these like in port, and looking at it, like it is as long as the skyscraper is tall, guys. That's basically the vibe I'm getting from this. Whoa.
1. And their work cycle repeats itself until the day they return to port. That means crew members do not have weekends off, including Sundays. Perhaps this is why some sailors lose track of time, because a new day is almost the same as the previous.
Right.
Over the years, the U.S. Navy has made several efforts to ensure its sailors can be somewhat comfortable while risking their lives at sea. This is why some aircraft carriers have Starbucks outlets. Really, in a work environment where alcohol is prohibited, what's the next best option other than a cup of hot steaming coffee to wash your tensions away? A popular way U.S. Navy sailors let off steam during their time at sea is through steel beach picnics. Pictures and videos from this event have sparked envy even in the hearts of sailors and civilians on land. During a
Okay.
Steel Beach picnic, the 5,000 sailors living and working aboard an aircraft carrier come out to the ship's deck
Oh,
to
guys,
have
they're
a good
eating
time.
good. They're eating
Steel Beach
very
picnics
good,
haven't
guys.
always been a means for sailors to have fun, though. The naval tradition was conceived by the British Navy as all hands to bathe back in the day.
All hands
British
to
naval
bathe.
warships were made out of wood. Hence, there was little to no provision for sailors to maintain their hygiene. Hence, all hands to bathe was an order for crew members to bathe in an open sea. Now, with sufficient provision made on modern-day vessels, jumping into the ocean has become a fun activity for sailors, even though it can be quite dangerous.
I can
The average
imagine.
aircraft carrier has its deck 60 feet above sea level. To eliminate or reduce the possibility of these sailors sustaining injuries from diving into the sea, aircraft carriers lower their hangar bay elevators to half that height. Therefore, they can jump off the ship at a height of 30 feet, even as
Okay.
a form of training. These picnics not only help to boost the crew's morale, but also supply the sailors with some much-needed vitamin
Guys,
D.
that's so cool.
Some sailors are not allowed
wouldn't
on the
do
deck
it.
for months, so coming out to the Steel Beach picnic is the only time they can be under the sun. The deck, which is usually 4 to 5 acres of land, becomes small when everyone aboard the ship comes out to play and mingle.
4 to
Various
5
games
acres
such
of
as card
land.
games, checkers, football, basketball, volleyball, and jump ropes
That's the
are just a
equivalent?
few of the activities enjoyed by the sailors on deck. Others settle for reading a book or sunbathing. And what's a picnic without food and drink? The head kitchen staff member decides which food is to be prepared on the deck. There are also coolers of ice-cold beer made available for those sailors to properly cool off. That
Okay.
is how Steel Beach
Guys, you just told me that there was no alcohol. How was there beer?
picnics go on aircraft carriers. It is a bit different on submarines. The surface of a submarine is not only
Yeah, it's not
smaller
very
in
much.
size in comparison to the deck of an aircraft carrier,
I didn't
but it's
even
also
think of that.
curved. Hence, these dimensions leave sailors aboard a submarine with no other choice than to jump off the ship into the ocean. After a long, relaxing swim in the water, they head back to the ship to enjoy a nice hot meal. Sailors could also use their breaks to play video games with their peers, get a tan, or study for courses required for them to be promoted. Some sailors would bring their gaming consoles aboard during deployment so that they can play games like Warcraft and Dungeons and Dragons with their fellow sailors.
Okay, you basically named 2 games specifically. All right, I just want to go ahead and point this out here that do not require gaming consoles to play. Specifically, World of Warcraft. That's like a gaming PC. Oh, unless they're talking about one of those like handheld gaming, like a Steam Deck, I think is what it's called. It could be that. But Dungeons and Dragons, what are you talking about?
They can also play these games with their loved ones back at home through the power of the internet. Other games like checkers, dominoes, chess, and card games are also frequently spotted with U.S. sailors.
Yeah, I can see that.
Crew members
being a
could
thing.
also use their off time to explore other hobbies of theirs. Sailors could enjoy writing, reading, singing, and dancing as well. Sometime in the mid-1800s, an association known as the American Seamen's Friends Society was created.
I'm
Their
too much of
goal
a
was to
child.
provide sailors with books and simultaneously boost their morale and
That's
social
wild.
skills. Music has also proven to be a great way for crew members to pass time on ships. Some songs, such as sea shanties, help sailors while working. During their off time, sailors could gather around and sing songs or tell tales as a form of entertainment. Sailors who are musically inclined, unlike their peers, would grab various musical instruments on board the ship and dive into the world of folk soul music to keep things lively. Sailors who are more artistic than others often prefer painting and artwork or carving wooden parts of the vessel. Painters among the sailors would make use of whatever they could find on deck as their art resources. The outcomes of such creative processes depend on the skills of such sailors and how well they can manage the limited resources presented to them. All U.S. Navy sailors are entitled to taking a leave. In total, a sailor earns 30 paid vacation days each year.
Okay.
To go on leave, a crew member must complete what is known as a chit. Then, this
What is
leave
that?
request form must be notarized by the next chain of command. All that's left is for the sailor's leave papers to be processed by the personnel department. In special occasions, crew members can borrow some days out of his not yet earned leave. Amongst sailors, this is known as going in the hole. It's not usually supported, but it still rarely happens. Sailors can also go on liberty calls. During holidays and weekends, crew members can spend a maximum of 72 hours. Based on the defined range of a vessel's local area, a sailor can explore and must be able to return to the ship if called aboard immediately. Some warships have set their local area to be a 50-mile range, while others can go as high as 400 miles. Navy sailors are not allowed to take both leave and liberty calls at the same time. Cinderella Liberty demands that sailors return back to their vessels at a stipulated time. Sailors who are 3 weeks into accession training, known amongst Navy sailors as A School, have access to on-base liberty and they're under a strict curfew. As they approach the end of the first 3 weeks and are going into the 4th week, sailors will start working towards off-base liberty, still under a curfew. The conditions of these liberty calls are determined by a crew member's commanding officer, and it can differ from time to time. It is, without a doubt, overwhelming to become a sailor in the United States Navy.
There's a lot going on there, guys.
Has to go through 8 weeks of rigorous training and exercises at Navy boot camps before being enlisted into Navy A School. Despite all this, the U.S. Navy still receives a huge number of applications every year. Once enlisted recruits are deployed, they must go through a harder time of learning the know-hows of being a sailor aboard any of the USN's warships. While carrying out their daily routines, they're allowed to take a break and enjoy other aspects of being at sea. Now you know what US sailors do on their off time. Hope you found the video informative. What do you think about the various hobbies that these sailors enjoy to let some steam off? Are there any suggestions you would like to make?
Yeah, guys. I would have, hold on. Hold the phone here, buddy. Okay, listen, I do think that by default here, if you are out here protecting me specifically and you watching the video specifically, I'm not sure they should be paying for anything. Okay. I'm in the camp of, I don't even think that these individuals should be taxed. I don't think so. Listen, let them have all the money that they earn. Okay, they're on a ship for like 4 months. Great. They are going to have a sizable savings when they go home because they didn't spend any money. Why? Because if they, let's explain this here differently. If they were not there, they would be home. Okay, all right. Spending the money how they desire instead of overpriced anything. Something tells me that Starbucks is like $30. All right, just for the memes, just to be $30 for no reason, bro. All right, that's my opinion here, and I definitely think that everything, including the coffee, including the food, hopefully, guys wait a second. Are they paying for their food? Do we need to like set up some type of like foundation, like specifically dedicated to making sure they don't have to pay for stamps to like, send letters home to their family while they're protecting us? Guys, I don't like that idea. Like, I'm gonna be honest here. I don't like the fact that they're paying for things specifically, on these gigantic multi-billion dollar, devices here that paid for by the government. I get it. They're being paid a salary, but they're not home to spend it. All right. Let them get that. Let them just have that. No taxes. And let them live their lives, guys. Right. If they want to protect me, I'll fight for them while I'm here. If that makes any sense here. But I definitely love the fact that they have the ability to kind of, do these steel picnic things. I definitely did not, under any circumstance, believe the size of these things were that big. Obviously, there are multiple, fighter jets on there. That's a lot. But nothing in me said that they were actually as big as a skyscraper lying down. Guys, nothing told me that. But all right, listen, guys, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. If you guys are new here, please like and subscribe. And again, the name of the channel of video came from is called Navy Media, guys. All right. I'll catch you guys later. Guys, do you want to watch movies with me? I never actually thought to like promote it over here, guys. But if you guys do want to watch it, guys, we have hundreds of movies. And I mean hundreds of movies that we've reacted to. You guys can come watch them with me if you want to, along with, many TV shows. Currently, we're working on the show Dexter, along with Vikings. And we have a lot of series that are already completed. But if you guys do want to watch it with me, the link is in the description. Everything's available at the second tier. But of course, if that's not your thing, guys, don't worry, right? Listen, like and subscribe.